Hello, my name's Ian Glover, I'm President of CREST. We're running an event in South Africa at the moment, and what we're trying to do is to encourage the development of an ecosystem within the community. I think it's really important that what we try to do is to develop cyber-related capability within South Africa, not only for the domestic capability, but also for international trade. From our perspective, this has been a really good event so far. We've had great support from the Department of International Trade in the UK and the Foreign Office, and I believe that type of collaboration between government and not-for-profit organisations like CREST really starts to make a difference. We have a really good story to tell, and we have a common theme. What we're trying to do is to build capacity, capability and consistency within the cybersecurity market, and also economies of scale. If we can act collaboratively on an international stage, then really we start to derive some of the benefits we need to combat some of the relationships with cyber criminality. So if we work together, I believe we'll be stronger, and if we work together, I think we are in a much better position to be able to combat some of the threats that we perceive and we see coming to our community. This event, I believe, is really important as well, because what we're trying to do is to showcase UK capability, but also, as I mentioned, try to build an ecosystem within South Africa. We've brought with us people talking about threat intelligence. I believe that's very important because we need to understand what the threats are and what the relationship is between the threat and what we're trying to do to protect ourselves. If we don't understand the threat, then we can't spend our money appropriately and we can't understand what we're doing from a testing perspective. We've got excellent people from the penetration testing community. We're trying to describe why penetration testing is really essential to the community. And if we use penetration testing correctly, we can identify what real attackers will be doing, and we'll be able to therefore start to combat things in a much more structured way. In addition to that, we're seeing the advent of security operations centres, both internally provided and externally provided. If you're providing an internal secure operations centres or SOC, we need to make sure that there are standards in place that you're meeting, I believe, common good practice. And if you're trying to procure those sorts of SOC services from the external community, then we need to fully understand what good looks like. It's very difficult to buy those types of services if you don't fully understand the questions you should be asking. What we need to do is to understand the technologies they use, but we also need to understand the capabilities of the individuals and the escalation paths. And within CREST, what we do is we do that evaluation and assessment on behalf of the buying community. If your SOC doesn't operate effectively, then again the penetration testers are going to walk through the doors, and again the attackers are going to be much more effective in terms of the techniques that they use to move the process forward. But we need to start somewhere. So what we're also trying to do here is to talk about some of the elements associated with basic cyber hygiene, and also what we need to do in general awareness programs. If our community and the people that work for us don't understand what the threats are, and they don't understand their responsibilities to protect the organisation and protect the individual's data that's being held or the organisation's information, then really we're in a losing position right from the word go. So what we're trying to do here as well is to suggest that the awareness programs you run within our organisations are really important, and they need to be fitted in with an overall structure to look at both the prevention of incidents occurring, but also to make sure that we have incident response processes that if we do identify something, somebody's willing to report and we can actually take action. So from our perspective, working collaboratively with our friends here in South Africa is really important to us. Working broader within the other African countries is very important to us as well, and we're doing some work with the Gates Foundation at the moment to look at developing ecosystems throughout the whole of the African continent. It's very important to us that we work with the local providers and to make sure they're operating to international standards, and again there's that commonality of approach so we can encourage the very best people. That encouragement of the very best people into our industry is essential. We need those people to come into our industry, and we need to put them on a career pathway that will allow them to progress and move forward within the industry itself. And then we need assurance, and that assurance comes from understanding the threat, from conducting the penetration testing, as well as looking at the more traditional international standards such as ISO 27001, for example. But if we don't have that technical underpinning, then really we're in a difficult position to know what level of assurance is being provided. And that makes it difficult for the regulators, it makes it difficult for the buying community, in other words, the people that are exposed, and it makes it difficult for the community to react in a sensible way. So our view is if we can pull all of those things together, we can operate effectively, we can utilise events like this to pull people together so they can communicate and collaborate in a better way, and hopefully come out with some actions that we can all move forward, then actually we start to win. So I'd really appreciate all the work again we've had from Department of International Trade, the Foreign Office, but also from the regulators within South Africa, the community for coming and the vendors for arriving. So thank you very much.